So these are the new perks for the Survivor. You got Solidarity, which is it heals 50% of yourself when you're healing someone else. So to heal someone else is half the time of self-care. Self-care is 32 seconds, meaning healing someone else is going to take you 16 seconds. So in the 16 seconds you heal someone else, you will heal yourself the equivalent of 8 seconds if someone else is to heal you. So if I am healing Jeff, and I finish the heal after 16 seconds, Jeff only has to heal me for 8 seconds. What is 8 seconds? 8 seconds is the equivalent of running an engineering tool, not an engineering, an emergency med kit alongside this one right here for 25% quicker. That is the equivalent of doing 50% of the charges. This being said, if you do a little bit of light math, tremendously, it's about 30%. This is about that. You're looking at about 55%. The numbers are very marginally off by 0.5 of a second. But still, that's kind of giving you the impression of how much you're healing. This being said, if multiple people are healing, I don't think you get as much bang for your buck. Not 100% sure. I do not rate this perk. I think this is a pretty bad perk. You shouldn't be looking for someone to heal. Healing is very situational. If you are versing a hag, for example, who has a lot of map pressure and a lot of traps out, and you are hurt, and you've got 1 or 2 Jennies left to do, and she hasn't done any hooks, yes, you probably want to heal so she doesn't catch you and camp you in between a 3-gen strat. This being said, I don't feel this item can be utilized very well. I think it's a bit of a wasted perk, but at the same time, it is just Jane's rare perk, which is unlocked at level 30. Moving on to the next perk, we have Poised. Now, Poised is interesting. Why is it interesting? After a generator is completed, you leave no scratch marks for 10 seconds. Now, if you're going to use this perk, realistically, you should not be running Dance With Me. This is the kind of perk you're looking at running with Sprint Burst. Once you finish the generator, you Sprint Burst away from the Jenny and you get to another Jenny. Do I think that's the combo you should run? Yes. Do I think you should run this perk, period? No. I think it's too situational. It's not that great. If we're going to be a little bit more precise, it says after a generator is completed. You don't have to physically complete that generator. So if I'm looping the killer and somebody completes a generator, that perk will activate for 10 seconds in the bottom of the screen. And if I have Quick and Quiet and Lithe, I can vault a window and then boom, go in the distance. It could be used, don't get me wrong, but it's very situational. It'd be better if you were on comms telling your friends, oh, I'm about to pop it, so vault the window, etc. Very, very hard for the killer to lose you in that situation. It'd have to be like a really thick, dense swamp map with like fog, and you have to be playing a small character that's immersed. It'd be hard to like utilize effectively. I don't think it's a great perk, if we're gonna be honest here. Now, moving on to the next perk, Head On. Now, Head On is an interesting perk. It brings into the equation an exhaustion aggressive re-attack at the killer. Now, keep a note. You need to get in a locker and stay stationary in the locker for 3 seconds. If you're running and the killer's behind you and you jump in a locker, you can't just jump out and stun the killer. It stuns a killer for 3 seconds. It is affected by enduring. Yes, but I don't think it's infected by enduring at 75%. So if you have enduring and I jump out of the locker, you're going to get stunned, but you're going to be able to recover and walk up to a pallet and either lunge at the pallet or I pull the pallet out. Either way, you're going to get a pallet out of it. So it's not really a good perk. When can Head On be utilized correctly? If I'm going to be honest, the best way to utilize Head On is one person's hooked in the basement, not what you want. Somebody runs in for the save and one of you runs into one of the first 2 lockers. If you run into the first 2 lockers, the front one, the other guy's doing the save with the borrowed time, the killer's coming back in, you jump out, you stun the killer, and you all run into the sunset holding hands together. Like I said, very situational, but at the same time, I don't think it is a really good perk. You need to be standing in front of the locker as a killer, and the killer can sidestep it a bit. It doesn't have a massive hitbox when you jump out, and it's really easy to bait out. And if the guy has Iron Maiden, you're in deep trouble. Right, that isn't all in terms of the Survivor perks. But we're going to quickly jump over and we're going to go through the killer perks real quick of the new killer Plague. So that's Jane. She's actually pretty great. She's awesomely designed. She looks fantastic. But in terms of all of her perks, don't be in a hurry to unlock any of these, in my opinion. I don't think they're going to benefit you too much, but it does depend on your playstyle. If you're running Will Make It and you're doing a really fast heal with your hands, yeah, you can maybe get this out. But keep in mind, this does not work with a med kit. It has to be with your fingers, your